It's nice to see you again, learners. Another day has come for you to embark and learn new things with me, Sir Brian, as we continue our journey towards another fantastic learning on air. Words can express how elated I am to see you today for a new learning session. But before we actually get the ball rolling, I'd like to remind you of some important things that you have to remember to ensure quality learning. First, be in the most convenient place at home. Second, make yourselves ready to acquire new knowledge. And finally, don't forget to keep your beautiful smile all throughout this session to maintain the atmosphere lively and meaningful. For today's session, you are expected to identify the strategies and key elements of an argument in the given texts and statements. Are you ready to unveil new sets of learning? I knew you'd say yes. Let's get to it! 안녕하세요. 감사합니다. 사랑해. Do these words ring a bell to you? Terrific! These words are commonly heard when you watch K-dramas or even listen to your K-pop idols speaking after receiving an award. Unconsciously, the more you get exposed to it, the more you somehow learn it little by little. Don't you agree? Great! But do you think learning a foreign language is important? Let's see if the article that I will present to you today will convince you or not. This is entitled, Why You Should Start Learning a Foreign Language.
Why you should start learning a foreign language. It is difficult to deny the wisdom of these words. Every language is not just a number of rules and grammatical constructions allowing you to understand other people. It is rather a reflection and at the same time, a determinant of mentality, the way of thinking of the people who speak it. Learning a language ideally involves not only memorizing a bunch of new words, but also studying its native country's culture and history, digging into its contemporary context, following its evolution. Believe it or not, but your native language has shaped your personality in the same way your parents and surroundings have. Logically, the more languages you know, the more diverse and profound of a person you can become. By understanding paradigms different from yours, you can broaden your outlook and become more open-minded. You will be able to read between the lines, developing your communications with other people not just in a regular verbal way, but in the dimension of gestures, circumlocutions, allegories, etc. You can view it as adopting and integrating a new personality in your mind, which occurs every time you dig deeper into a new language.
After listening to the selection, are you convinced to learn a foreign language? I'm surprised that you're willing to expand your horizon. What persuaded you to do so? Nice! Because it states in the article that learning a new language exposes you to the native country's culture and history. Do you know that the article you just listened to contains an argument? By the way, what is an argument? Excellent! An argument is a logical and philosophical series of statements which intends to determine the degree of truth of another statement. In other words, argument is a claim given with the aim of persuading others. So, can you determine the statement of the argument in the article you have listened to? Fantastic! It is. Every language is not just a number of rules and grammatical constructions allowing you to understand other people. This statement creates a strong foundation of the author's belief that learning a new language can offer more than just learning the language itself. It simply encompasses the author's stand on the issue. Remember that the stand is also known as the claim of the author. But how could the author convince the readers even more to agree to his or her argument? Brilliant! We need some evidence to support it. Now, can you identify the evidence for the argument? Well done! From the text, we can extract this sentence. Learning a language ideally involves not only memorizing a bunch of new words, but also studying its native country's culture and history. This statement provides support and reasons for why the reader should agree with the claim for statement. You see, the more we seek for evidence, the more we get a clearer picture of the situation. Will the evidence be enough? Precisely not. We must have the explanation of the evidence. So, can you identify it from the text? Very good! That is, the more languages you know, the more diverse and profound of a person you can become. The sentence encapsulates all the relevant ideas that support the evidence. With these elements embedded, you become an effective speaker because you can present your arguments clearly supported with evidences. However, are these enough to sway your listeners? Of course not, because you need some strategies to help your argument get around. So, how should you do it then? Good job! There are argumentative strategies that will help you pave the way. One could not successfully present his or her own argument without considering using any of the strategies in argumentative texts. Do you want to get acquainted with these strategies? Let's do it! First on the list is ethos. Ethos or ethics convinces an audience via the authority or credibility. Here is an example. As noted in the article, Why Bilinguals Are Smarter by Udijit Bhattacharjee of the New York Times, the collective evidence from a number of such studies suggests that the bilingual experience improves the brain's so-called executive function, a command system that directs the attention processes that we use for planning, solving problems, and performing various other mentally demanding tasks. Furthermore, by instilling a reverence for foreign language at a young age, parents put their children miles ahead of their future competitors. This paragraph contains a person who is Udijit Bhattacharjee of the New York Times. Since he's been a writer in the newspaper, he is credible enough to back up the argument because gathering data is important before publishing an article. With this, the readers are easily convinced. This is followed by pathos. Pathos appeals to emotions. Let's study this example. Learning foreign languages is extremely beneficial for personal development. Not only does it allow you to better understand other cultures and mentalities, but it also enriches your personality with new outlooks, makes you more open-minded, which is extremely valuable nowadays. This is considered pathos because the choice of words and the message that learning a language enriches one's personality with new outlooks appeals to the emotional response of the readers. Lastly, logos. Logos or logic appeals with the use of facts, figures, information, and analogies. Check this out. There are many other reasons for learning a foreign language. Have you ever found yourself in a situation when you're alone in an unfamiliar country, unable to find your hostel 2 hours past midnight, and completely unable to say anything in this country's language? In a 2016 Pew Research Center report on the state of American jobs, only 36% of Americans reported that knowing a foreign language was an extremely or very important trait for workers to be successful in today's economy, ranking it last out of 8 skills for workers' success. This paragraph clearly gives the readers a concrete explanation of the statistics provided by Pew Research Center in 2016 as to how Americans believe that knowing a foreign language is a very important trait to succeed in the economic field. This shows a logical appeal to the readers because it used facts, figures, and analogies. Take note that these strategies, when engaging yourself to any oral or written argumentation, will aid you in articulating your views on a certain issue clearly and effectively. It's now time to see if you can already identify which strategy is used in the argumentative text, why you should start learning a foreign language. Can you tell me what strategy of argumentation is used? Remarkable! Indeed, it used pathos because it appeals to the readers that learning a language means shaping one's personality in the same way his or her parents and surroundings have. It also allows an individual to understand paradigms different from others, which can be used to broaden one's outlook and become more open-minded, and develop good communications with other people. I'm very amazed at how fast you were able to learn our topic today. And because of that, I'd like to test how well you can do it on your own. But before that, let me ask you a very timely question. Do you care for the earth? Commendable. I myself care for the earth too. But do you believe that global warming is happening? We'll see if this argumentative text entitled "Global Warming is Real" could change your mind.
Global warming is real. In the past 1,300 years, Earth has not experienced such a warming trend as we are having now. NASA, 2016. In fact, the World Meteorological Organization has stated that the global temperature is 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and for 3 years in a row, it has been the hottest year on record. Carrington, 2016. Though the scientific evidence seems overwhelming in favor of global warming, there are those, for various reasons, who believe that global warming is a hoax or not empirically verified. This is disappointing, as the future of our planet is at stake, and the last thing we should do in this critical time is argue whether or not our world is being destroyed. In order to enlighten those who believe global warming is not currently happening, I will present evidence that will show that global warming is real due to sea levels rising, global temperatures rising, warming oceans, shrinking ice sheets, declining Arctic sea ice, glacial retreat, extreme temperature events, ocean acidification, and decreased snow cover.
Let's try to identify the key elements present in the text. Bring it on! Let's start it off with, what is the statement of the argument based from the text? Great! It is, Earth has not experienced such a warming trend as we are having now, according to NASA in 2016. Next, what is the evidence for the argument? Way to go! We have the evidence. The World Meteorological Organization has stated that the global temperature is 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and for 3 years in a row, it has been the hottest year on record, according to Carrington in 2016. This time, can you give me an explanation from the text that would support the evidence? Brilliant! The increase of global temperature is manifested through these phenomena: sea levels rising, global temperatures rising, warming oceans, shrinking ice sheets, declining Arctic sea ice, glacial retreat, extreme temperature events, ocean acidification, and decreased snow cover. This solidifies the supporting evidence that we have for the argument. Lastly, in what way did the author persuade the readers? Nice shot! The strategy used is logos because it convinced readers by using facts from reliable sources. Wow! You have just added new concepts and learnings to your previous ones, and I know for a fact that you are very much eager to answer your self-learning module. But before that, always remember that in everyday life, people often use argument to mean a disagreement between people. But in logical and critical thinking, this is a claim given with the aim of persuading others. Of course, you can't have a strong argument if you can't provide the key elements, which are statement of the argument, evidence for the argument, and explanation of the evidence. Keep in mind that these will not be effective without using any of the strategies, namely ethos, pathos, and logos. Once you could bring all of these important components together, then voila! You have just made your point clear and comprehensive for your readers' consumption. Now that I'm assured you have understood our lesson, do you think you're now ready to make a stand and let your ideas be heard? That we have yet to find out. At this very moment, you have finally reached the greatest height for today's fantastic lesson. I am optimistic that you have what it takes to get the job done. Happy answering! In the event that you might have questions or clarifications, your English teachers are always ready to assist you in any way possible. Please reach us through our phones as we are very much willing to guide you. This has been Sir Brian, always ready and energetic to be your pilot as we go up and reach the limits towards fantastic learning on air. Till next time, see you!